हरि बोल गौर हरि बोल। जय सपरिकार श्री श्री गुरु गौरांग गंधर्विका गिरिधारी श्री श्री राधा विनोद बिहारी जीव की जय। जय श्री श्री राधा गोविंद राधा गोपीनाथ राधा मदन मोहन जीव की जय। जय नित्य लीला प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस अष्टोत्तरशत श्री शिला ऐसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्य लीला प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस अष्टोत्तरशत श्री शिला भक्ति वेदांत नारायण गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। नित्य लीला प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस अष्टोत्तरशत श्री शिला भक्ति रक्षक श्रीधर गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। नित्य लीला प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस अष्टोत्तरशत श्री शिला भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। नित्य लीला प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस अष्टोत्तरशत श्री शिला भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। जय महाभागवत श्रील गौरकिशोर दास गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। श्री शिल सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय। वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री शिल जगन्नाथ दास बाबू जी महाराज की जय। जय श्री गौरी वेदांत आचार्य बलदेव विजयभूषण प्रभु की जय। श्रील विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती ठाकुर की जय। श्री नरोत्तम श्रीनिवास श्यामानंद प्रभु त्राय की जय। श्री कृष्णदास कविराज गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय। श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्ट दास रघुनाथ सद गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय। श्रील स्वरूप दामोदर राय रमानंदारी गौर पार्षद वृंद की जय। नाम आचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री अंतरद्वीप मायापुर सीमंत द्वीप गोद्रुम द्वीप मध्य द्वीप कोल द्वीप ऋतुद्वीप जनद्वीप मोद द्रुम द्वीप रुद्रदीपात्मक श्री श्री नवद्वीप धाम की जय। जय श्री पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। जय श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपी को गोवर्धन द्वादश वनात्मक श्री ब्रज मंडल धाम की जय। श्याम कुंद राधा कुंद यमुना गंगा तुलसी भक्ति देवी की जय। जय श्री श्री राधा गोविंद राधा गोपीनाथ राधा मदन मोहन जीव की जय। श्री श्री राधा गोकुलानंद राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा रमन राधा दामोदर जीव की जय। जय श्रीमती ललित विशाखा आदि अष्ट सखी वृंद की जय। श्री रूप मंजरी रति मंजरी अनंग मंजरी आदि मंजरी वृंद की जय। श्रीमती वृंद देवी की जय। श्रीमती पौर्णमासी योगमाय देवी की जय। श्री गोपीश्वर महादेव की जय। सर्वाभीष्ट प्रदाता गिरिराज गोवर्धन की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा सुदर्शन चक्र जीव की जय। भक्ति विघ्न विनाशन श्री नृसिंह देव की जय। भक्त प्रवर श्री प्रहलाद महाराज की जय। चारों धाम चारों संप्रदाय चारों आचार्य की जय। आकर मत राज श्री चैतन्य मत की जय और अनन्य शाखा मत समूह की जय। श्री विश्व वैष्णव राज सभा की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। त्रिभुवन पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। त्रिभुवन मंगल हरिनाम प्रभु की जय। हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय। सचिनंदन गौर हरि की जय। श्री नित्यानंद महाजन की जय। श्री पंच तत्व की जय। समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय। समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। वंदे हम श्री गुरु श्रीयुतः पदकमलम् श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिते नामने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। नमो विष्णुपदाय राधिकायै प्रियात्मने श्रीमद् भक्तिवेदांत नारायणीति नामने। श्री कृष्ण लीला कथने सुदक्षम औदार्य माधुर्य गुणैश्च युक्तं वरं वरेण्यं पुरुषं महान्तं नारायणं तं शिरसा नमामि। श्रीदन्दिनां भक्तशिरोमणिं च श्रीकृष्णपादाब्जधृतैकहृदि चैतन्यलीलामृतसारसारं नारायणं तं सततं प्रपद्ये। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिरक्षक श्रीधर इति नामने। नमो विष्णुपदाय आचार्य सिंहरूपिणे श्रीमद् भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव इति नामने। अतिमर्त्याचरित्राय स्वश्रितानाञ्च पालने जीवदुःखे सदार्ताय श्रीनाम प्रेमदायने। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती नामने। मधुर्य उज्ज्वल प्रेमाद्या श्रीरूपानुग भक्तिदा श्री गौर करुणा शक्ति विग्रहाय नमोस्तुते। नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्तये दीनतारिणे रूपानुग विरुद्धाप सिद्धांत द्वंद्वहारिणे। नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षात् वैराग्यमूर्तये अविप्रलम्बरसाम्बुधे पदाम्बुजायते नमः। नमो भक्तिविनोदाय सच्चिदानन्दनामने गौरशक्तिस्वरूपाय रूपानुगवरायते। गौराविर्भावभूमेस्त्वं निर्देष्टा सज्जनप्रिया वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्रीजगन्नाथाय ते नमः। वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्नाय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरातिशे नमः। नित्यानंदं नमस्तुभ्यं प्रेमानंद प्रदायने कलौ कल्मषनाशाय जानभपतये नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jayatam Shuruto Pangor Mama Mandamater Gati Matsarva Swapadam Bojo Radha Madana Mohano Divyad Vrindaranya Kalpadrumadha Shrimad Ratnagara Singhasanasto Shrimad Radha Srila Govinda Devo Preshtalibhi Sevyamano Smarami Shriman Rasarasarambhi Vamshivata Tatakstitaha Karshan Venu Swanair Gopir Gopinata Shriyestunaha Avrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavachai Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Gurudev Kripa Bindu Diya Koroe Dase Chanapeka Atihina Gurudev Kripa Bindu Diya Koroe Dase Chanapeka Atihina Gurudev Kripa Bindu Diya Koroe Dase Trinapekayati Hina Gurudev Kripa Binduri. Is that Mridanga in the office again? Gurudev Kripa Bindu Diya Koroe Dase Trinapekayati Hina Gurudev Kripa Bindu Diya Koroe Dase Trinapekayati Hina Sakala Sahane Baladiya Karo Nijamane Spriha Hina Sakala Sahane Baladiya Karo Nijamane Spriha Hina Sakala Sahane Baladiya Karo Sakala Sahane Baladiya Karo Nijamane Spriha Hina Nijamane Spriha Hina Gurudev Kripa Bindu Diya Koroe Dase Trinapekayati Hina Gurudev Kripa Bindu Diya Koroe Dase Trinapekayati Hina Sakale Saman Korite Shakati Dehonat Jata Jata Sakale Saman Korite Shakati Dehonata Jata Jata Tabe Toga গাইব হরিনাম সুখে, তবে তো গাইব হরিনাম সুখে, তবে তো গাইব হরিনাম সুখে, তবে তো গাইব হরিনাম সুখে। অপরাধ হবে হাতা, অপরাধ হবে হাতা, অপরাধ হবে হাতা, অপরাধ হবে হাতা। গুরুদেব কৃপা বিন্দু দিয়া করো এ দাসে তৃণপেক্ষায়তিহীনা। গুরুদেব কৃপা বিন্দু দিয়া করো এ দাসে তৃণপেক্ষায়তিহীনা। কবে হেন কৃপা লবিয়া এজন কৃতার্থ হইবে না, কবে হেন কৃপা লবিয়া এজন কৃতার্থ হইবে না, কবে হেন কৃপা লবিয়া এজন কৃতার্থ হইবে না, কবে হেন কৃপা লবিয়া এজন কৃতার্থ হইবে না। শক্তি বুদ্ধিহীন আমি অতি দিন, শক্তি বুদ্ধিহীন আমি অতি দিন, শক্তি বুদ্ধিহীন আমি অতি দিন, শক্তি বুদ্ধিহীন আমি অতি দিন। করো মোরে আত্মসাত, করো মোরে আত্মসাত, করো মোরে আত্মসাত, করো মোরে আত্মসাত। গুরুদেব কৃপা বিন্দু দিয়া করো এ দাসে তৃণপেক্ষায়তিহীনা। গুরুদেব কৃপা বিন্দু দিয়া করো এ দাসে তৃণপেক্ষায়তিহীনা। যোগ্যত্য বিচারে কিছু নাহি পাই তোমার করুণা সার। 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 করুণা না হইলে কান্দিয়া কান্দিয়া, করুণা নয় কান্দিয়া কান্দিয়া, করুণা না হইলে কান্দিয়া কান্দিয়া, করুণা না হইলে কান্দিয়া কান্দিয়া। প্রাণ না রাখিব আরা, প্রাণ না রাখিব আরা, ও প্রাণ না রাখিব আরা, প্রাণ না রাখিব আর। গুরুদেব কৃপা বিন্দু দিয়া করো এ দাসে তৃণপেক্ষায়তিহীনা। গুরুদেব কৃপা বিন্দু দিয়া করো এ দাসে তৃণপেক্ষায়তিহীনা। জয় গুরুদেবা, জয় গুরুদেবা, গুরুদেবা জয় গুরুদেবা। জয় গুরুদেবা, গুরুদেবা, গুরুদেবা জয় গুরুদেবা। জয় প্রভুপাদ, জয় প্রভুপাদ, প্রভুপাদ জয় প্রভুপাদ। Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Shri Krishna Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Shri Krishna Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Everybody follow! Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai, Jaya Gaur, Jaya Nitai, Jaya Gaur, Jaya Nitai, Jaya Gaur, Jaya Nitai, Jaya Gaur. Jaya Sachinanda, Jaya Gaura Hari, Sachinanda, Jaya Gaura Hari, Sachinanda, Jaya Gaura Hari, Sachinanda, Jaya Gaura. Jaya Nityananda Ram, Nityananda Ram, Nityananda Ram, Jaya Nityananda Ram. Jai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Premanande, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. No, it's actually better to leave it like that. Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Bande Shri Gurun Dinataranam Vancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhu Bhevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Itadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namah. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So before beginning our first class on Sri Manah-siksa of Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, I'm first of all offering my unlimited Dandavat Pranams and my Shraddha Pushpanjali at the lotus feet of my most worshipable beloved Gurudev, Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Asto Tarasata Sri Srila A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada. And then I'm offering my same unlimited Dandavat Pranams and my Shraddha Pushpanjali at the lotus feet of my most worshipable beloved Siksha Gurudevs, Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Ashtatarasata Sri Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj and Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Ashtatarasata Sri Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. I'm offering my Dandavat Pranams to all of my Sri Sri Rupanuga Guru Varga, and especially Sri Rupa Raghunath, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami Pad, the author of the book Sri Manah-siksa. and my Dandavat pranams to all the Vaishnavas and to all the Vaishnavis. So we are here in Sri Keshavji Gaudiya Math and Sri Navadvip Dham, the transcendental spiritual abode of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Most favorable place for doing worship and bhajan of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sri Krishna, Srimati Radhika, his eternal consort, and also to all of the associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and to Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu himself, who is the combined form of Shri Radha and Krishna, and has come to give Krishna Prem. How do we know this? How do we know that who is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and that he has come to give Krishna Prem? What is the answer? How do we know this? What I just told. Do you know my question? I'll repeat it again. How do we know that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the combined form of both Shri Radha and Krishna? He is actually Krishna coming in a golden color, with all the moods, all of the bhavs of Srimati Radharani. How do we know that? How do we know that that personality, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, has descended to give Krishna Prem, which is the most rare thing that is attainable in all the three worlds, in all the universes? Krishna Prem he has come to give. So how do we know this to be a fact? Huh? Can't hear you. Quote. Quote. Don't just say Shruti. Huh? What is Shruti? Huh? No. You have to give the actual reference. If you want to prove something, then you have to give the Shastric reference. Not just say, oh, it's written in the Shastras. No. Where in the Shastras? Huh? No. There's two questions I just asked. Who is this personality? And what has he come to give? Huh? Who is he? You're all missing it completely. It's the most basic shloka that we sing every single day, and we just sang it today in our Mangala Charana. There is one shloka written by who? Identifying who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. No. What? Okay, say the shloka. Say the shloka. Wait, just one person at a time. Say the shloka. You didn't say it, he said it. Say it nicely, loudly, and slowly. Now say it slowly and emphatically. Like, not just quickly. Say it like you should quote a shloka, so that everybody can hear the words of the shloka. So now we all say it together. Everyone say this together along with me. Namo Mahabhadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauda Tvishe Namaha. Now line by line, word by word, who can explain the meaning of this shloka? Beginning with line 1, Namo Mahabhadanyaya. What's the meaning of those words? No. Only the words, not what's later on. I didn't ask for the whole shloka. Namo, I pay obeisances. To who? Huh? Who is what does that mean? Yes, the greatest giver. Mahavadanya. Namo Mahavadanyaya. Unto that greatest giver. Understand? Maha, great, and Vadanya, who gives, very generous. Who is the most generous person? So he begins like that, Namo Mahabhadanyaya, and then in the second line he describes what is he giving. Say the words of the second line. Say the words, the Sanskrit. You're all cheaters. You all want to take shortcuts. Meaning what? What word means that? Giver. What means giver? Which word means the giver? He's giving. Pradaya, thank you. Krishna Prema Pradayate. Te means you. Because Rupa Goswami is speaking to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's speaking to him. And he's paying his obeisances to him. And he's saying, oh, you are the greatest, most generous person who has ever appeared in this world. You are the Mahavadanya avatar. Why? How can someone be the greatest giver of something? They have to give the greatest thing. If you're the greatest giver, and then you just give some pieces of candy, does that prove that you're the greatest giver? No. If you're the greatest giver, and you give a couple of $1 million to somebody, or to everybody, does that prove that you're the greatest giver? Yes or no? You give millions of dollars. Does that prove that you are the greatest, most generous person? No. Why not? Why doesn't it prove that? Because you're not giving the greatest thing. What is $1 million? It's like stool. Yeah. It's like stool. All that it can do is provide you with some temporary happiness or unhappiness. Most people just get unhappiness from that. So, if you're the greatest giver, which is that is what Rupa Goswami has declared in his first line, Namo Mahabhadanyaya. I am paying my what? My namaskar. Namo. I am paying my obeisances to the greatest, most generous personality, Mahavadanyaya. And then what does he say next? He tells, what is he giving? Krishna prema pradayate. Pradaya means what? Giving, to give. That's the verb. You are the most generous person, and you are giving the most valuable thing that ever can be attained by anyone. You're giving that. Krishna prema pradayate. Now, in the third line, he identifies who is this Mahavadanyaya. Who is that person? Krishnaya. What does Krishnaya mean? What does Krishnaya mean? You all don't know any Sanskrit, any shlokas, nothing. You've never studied, you've never tried to understand the meaning of each word in each shloka. And this is a shloka that you've said hundreds of times. Huh? The first word in the third line, Krishnaya. Yes. Krishnaya means you are Krishna. Krishnaya, you are Krishna. And then Krishna Chaitanya Namne. Now, although you are Krishna, now you are coming by the name Krishna Chaitanya. Krishnaya, you are Krishna. Krishna Chaitanya Namne. Namne means you are named. That is who you are. This is identifying you. You're Krishna, and now you've come as Krishna Chaitanya. Then what is the last two words? Or three words? Means what? Why does he mention that? Yeah, but why? Why does he say now you're Gora? Why? Yes. Yes. But what does that indicate? Yes. But he doesn't say it in the verse. In the shloka, Rupa Goswami is not saying that. But everything is there with his intention to identify who is this person, you see. That's when you have to read Sri Chaitanya Charitamritam to understand who is this person, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Why is he golden color? For what reason has he descended? What does he come to give? Everything must be studied carefully, you see. So Gauda, do we have mantras given to us that has the word Gauda in it? Huh? Yes? Gaur what? Gaur mantra. Yes? Okay. See? He knows the answer. Even though you have those mantras, but you don't know the answer. The word Gaura is in your Gayatri mantras in two different lines. First line is Gaur mantra. Cling and that. And then the second one is Gaur Gayatri mantra. Gaur Gayatri. So there is a meditation when you chant these mantras. And when you chant your Guru mantras, there is a meditation. When you chant your Brahma Gayatri mantra, there is a meditation. When you chant Gopal mantra, there is a meditation. When you chant Kam Gayatri mantra, there is a meditation. And this is very, very essential to our advancement in Krishna Bhakti. Very essential. So here, Rupa Goswami, on his first meeting with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he immediately composed this shloka spontaneously. Namo Mahabhadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namani Gaura Tishe Nama. You are Krishna, but now you have golden color. You see, this is a very powerful mantra in paying obeisances to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You know, our Srila Prabhupada, in the beginning of his movement, where he began to introduce to all of his students this lifestyle given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how to become a Krishna devotee, how to become a pure devotee. So in the beginning, he gave a very simple mantras. He didn't give more elaborate mantras because these are brand new people who never heard Sanskrit before and all of this. So in order to teach them how to offer the food that they cook before they eat it, then he gave 3 different mantras. And he told the devotees to bow down, put tulsi on the plate, and then pray, bow down, and say these 3 mantras 3 times each. Remember that? He didn't teach all the different particular mantras for offering to different deities and so forth. But he gave these 3 mantras. First one is your Guru Pranam mantra, and for us that is Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharani Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashtacha Desha Tarani. And then the second mantra is which one? Namo Mahabhadanyaya. Not Sri Krishna Chaitanya, no. Namo Mahabhadanyaya is the second mantra that you say 3 times. You say the Pranam mantra to your Guru 3 times. Then you say the Pranam mantra to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu 3 times. And then what's the third mantra? No! Speculator you are. Because you never heard this before, huh? You never heard? No! Huh? You don't even know. But I don't blame you, because you were never so closely associated with... No. I'm talking about in the beginning. He didn't give the mantras, but he gave these 3 pranam mantras to offer your food to Krishna. What's the third one? I'll give you a hint. It starts with the word Namo. Just like the other one starts with Namo Mahabhadanyaya. But this one's not that. This is a separate one. Okay? Which mantra is this? After this, you'll never forget this, because I'm drumming it into your brains very hard today. No! How can you say that if I already told you the first word? Didn't you hear that I gave the hint that it starts with the word Namo? But then you said, Hey Krishna! You're cheating, trying to cheat. I know. trying to cheat. Well, you probably haven't said this verse very often in your lives, and you probably have not heard it very often also. So I forgive you for that. But I'll never forgive you for the Namo Mahabodhanyaya verse. So what is this third verse? Where did it come from, this verse? Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagat Hitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Have you heard that verse before? You haven't heard. Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha. Everyone repeat after me. Namo Brahmanya Devaya. Namo Brahmanya Devaya. Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha. Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha. Jagat Hitaya. Jagat Hitaya. Krishnaya. Krishnaya. Jagat Hitaya Krishnaya. Govindaya Namo Namaha. Govindaya Namo Namaha. Who spoke this verse, and where and when? Huh? Where and when? When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was standing in front of the Ratha Yatra cart. If you read the chapter in Chaitanya Charitamrita about Mahaprabhu's dancing in the Ratha Yatra. And Mahaprabhu, at first, Jagannath was beginning to start. And they began to pull. And Mahaprabhu stood in front of the Jagannath cart with his arms upraised. And he said, Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagat Hitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. So, what is the meaning? Namo Brahmanya Devaya. This is a very sweet verse showing Krishna's relationships as the Supreme Lord. So, Brahmanya Deva, Namo Brahmanya Devaya. It means you are the Deva, you are the Lord of the Brahmanas. What is a Brahmana? Who are Brahmanas? Answer my question. Who are Brahmanas? Huh? No. The Brahmins in the Chatur, the Varnashram Dharma, the Brahmins are one of the Varnas. Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. In Vedic culture, the Brahmanas are the spiritual heads of the society. They are actually the head. Just like on your body, you have a head. If you didn't have a head on your body, could your body function? You have your arms, you have your legs, everything. But if you didn't have a head, could your body function? Yes or no? No, it can't. It can't function. I've just now been reading the wars, all the details and chapters after chapters of the wars. And how many times I've heard how the monkeys have laughed with their bare hands, they've ripped off the head of this Rakshasa and this and that. Again and again, cutting off the head. Because once the head is cut off, the body can't function anymore. So, Brahmanas are the head of the society. Did you know that? Did you know that? Did you know that Srila Prabhupada, when he came to the West and he began his preaching mission, then he began to explain to the devotees, actually I've come to make brahmanas. I've come to make Brahmins. Because what is the definition of a Brahmana? Huh? That's symptoms. But what is the function of a Brahmana? How you can identify a Brahmana? Brahma janati iti Brahmana. He is one who knows Brahma. And what is Brahma? Supreme Absolute Truth, yes? Yes? Brahma is the Supreme Absolute Truth? Is that the meaning of the word Brahma? Yes? Not just Lord Brahma, that's a different spelling and a different pronunciation. So, Atato Brahma Jigyasa. Atato Brahma Jigyasa. Everyone repeat. Atato Atato Brahma Jigyasa. Atato Brahma Jigyasa. Oh, now you have become Vedic scholars of Vedanta Sutra. You just learned the first aphorism, the first line of Vedanta Sutra. Atato Brahma Jigyasa. What does that mean? Not think about. Inquire. Jigyasa means to inquire. About? Yes, Brahma. And what does Brahma mean? Atato Brahma Jigyasa Janmadyasya Yataha. Say that. Janmadyasya Yataha. Janmadyasya Yataha. Janmadyasya Yataha. Now you have suddenly become intermediate students, not beginning level students of Vedanta Sutra, because you learned the second aphorism. Janmadi asya yataha. Do you know that the first verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam also has these words in it? Did you know that? Do you know the first verse? Actually, you're not so familiar, because we always used to chant one line before hearing Srimad Bhagavatam class. Prabhupada told us to chant it 3 times. What is that one line? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Everyone say, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 So this means Om. This is the main word. It is called Omkar. It is the basic transcendental sound of Vedic knowledge. And the creation comes from Om, that sound vibration. So in the beginning of the Srimad Bhagavatam, we say the word Om. Om Namo. Namo. I offer my Namaha. Bhagavate. Unto Bhagavan, the Supreme Absolute Personality of Godhead, whose name is Vasudev. Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And then, after that, begins the first shloka of the Srimad Bhagavatam, and it says, Janmadyasya Yataha. The same words as the very beginning of the Vedanta Sutra. Janmadi Asya Yataha. So what's the meaning of those words? Janma Adi Yasya. Janma means what? Huh? Not in this context. This universe that we're now occupying for a long, long time, in many different bodies and many species of life. We've been in many different species of life. So this universe has a source. Does it or doesn't it? Or are you an atheist that you believe that there's no source? Huh? No, this universe has a source and it has a controller. So that personality who is that source is called Brahma. The Supreme Absolute Truth, Janmadi Asya, from whom everything has emanated. Janma means birth, but it also means source. Source of existence. Do you understand? Source of existence. And then it says Janma Adi. Why Adi? It means that you're going to tell more about this Brahma, this absolute truth, but first you're telling that it is the Janma Adi. Janma Adi means beginning with creation and then maintenance and then destruction. Janma Adi Yasya. That person from whom the whole universe has come, by whom the universe is being maintained, and in the end, by whom the universe will be destroyed. That's the first line of Srimad Bhagavatam, and that's the first line of Vedanta Sutra. And Vedanta is the ultimate conclusion. The word Veda Anta means the Anta, the end of all knowledge. Vedanta. So Srila Vyasadeva wrote Vedanta Sutra with 550 different aphorisms and shlokas. And that is the most very formidable, very powerful philosophical text in the Vedas, because it takes all the conceptions of the Upanishads, all throughout the Vedas, the philosophical and logical conceptions to prove the existence of the Absolute Truth. But after that, Srila Vyasadeva was not satisfied. Even though he had written Mahabharata, Ramayana, or not Ramayana, but Mahabharata, and all the Vedas, the Upanishads, and the Puranas, and so forth. He had written. But then, the whole story is there in Srimad Bhagavatam that he was not feeling satisfied one day in his ashram in the Himalayan mountains, and then his guru came from the sky, Narada. And there's a conversation there in the fourth chapter, I'm forgetting, of first canto. And Narada enlightens Vyasadeva, his disciple. And he says, do you know why you are not feeling satisfied even though you wrote Vedanta Sutra? Because you did not clearly describe that absolute truth, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who has descended in this world and who exists in the spiritual world eternally as who? Nanda Nandan, Yashoda Nandan, Radhika Ramana, and so many different names. You have not described him clearly. So then Vyasadeva went into very deep trance, meditation and trance. And then he envisioned the Supreme Lord with his energy and how he is above his energy and is in full control. And then Srila Vyasadeva wrote Srimad Bhagavatam. So the Srimad Bhagavatam is the commentary on the Vedanta Sutra. You understand that point? That the Srimad Bhagavatam is the commentary by the author of the Vedanta Sutra The Srimad Bhagavatam is his commentary on the Vedanta Sutra. So why am I telling all this? Well, because we want to know who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because the books that we're going to study for the next few months, they are books that are based upon the teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And they are written by his direct disciple, Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, and also Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And these books are the essential methodology for performing bhakti in the line of Rag Marg Bhakti. So we've studied that book for months before this, Rag Vartma Chandrika. We've studied that book for a few months, and other books also connected with that. So now we want to begin the book that is written by Raghunath Das Goswami, and it is like the sequel. It is like the sequel of the book written by Rupa Goswami, which is Sri Upadeshamrita. So the Manah-siksa, once one has followed and understood Upadeshamrita, then he can begin to hear and begin to try from his heart to hear and apply the teachings of Raghunath Das Goswami, to apply in your life. Because if you only hear things but you don't apply it, can you realize it? If you hear all kinds of instructions, but you don't apply it in your life, that means you don't act according to those instructions. Will you be able to realize those instructions? No, never. No. Realization is called Vigyan. And regular, ordinary philosophical knowledge is called Gyan. But Vigyan means fully realized. So why are we going to study this Manah-siksa? Because this book is the direct prayers of the greatest acharya in our line. He is praying and he is teaching us how to pray. To what? To our mind. Mana. Mana. That means what? Mind. Mana. Manah-siksa means instructions to your mind. So Raghunath Das Goswami is praying in 11 shlokas to his mind. And he is teaching us how to also pray and aspire to practice and to be absorbed in the transcendental sweet name, form, qualities, pastimes of Radha and Krishna. What kind of mood should we be in to attempt to try to follow this process of Raganuga Bhakti? Even if we are not qualified yet, but we can hear about this. What does this process entail? And then we can aspire for this. So this is why I have chosen to study the Manah-siksa, because so many months back, we began to study the Upadeshamrita in brief. We didn't do an in-depth study, but we began to remind ourselves of the teachings of Rupa Goswami in the Upadeshamrita. So our Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, he is told that these two books these two books, Upadeshamrita of Rupa Goswami and Manah-siksa of Raghunath Das Goswami, they are the actual process. You want to know what the process is? It's called your sadhana. What sadhana you need to perform in order to attain the sadhya, in order to attain the goal. So what must you do? Well, these two books have been given to teach us what we must do, how we must live. What are these two books' names? Yes, Upadeshamrita and Manah-siksa. So, we're going to read Srila Gurudev's preface of this book, Sri Manah-siksa. What do you call preface in Russian language? The preface of a book. Huh? Huh? Okay. So now Srila Gurudev is talking about how he is very, very happy. And he is realizing that this book, which he has completed, it is only by the causeless mercy of his divine spiritual master. So he says, and this is translated, of course, from his Hindi edition of this book in the Hindi language. He says, today, by the causeless mercy of the lotus feet of my most worshipful spiritual master, Nitya Leela Pravishta Om Vishnu Pad Ashto Tarashata Shri Srimad Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Goswami Maharaj. This edition of Sri Manah-siksa, composed by Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, the preeminent follower of Sri Rupa Goswami, it is happily presented before the faithful readers. The commentary found in this edition, it is called Sri Bhajan Darpana Digdarshani Vritti. Again, Sri Bhajan Darpana Digdarshani Vritti. That means, this commentary means it is the purport that examines every point of the commentary known as Bhajan Darpan. It is a translation along with expanded notes of the Bhajan Darpan commentary written by who? Srila Sachidananda Bhaktivinoda Thakur. That's what this Manah-siksa has. His commentary. And then an expanded commentary from that commentary by our Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Maharaj. It is called Digdarshani Vritti. So, this Bhajan Darpan commentary written by Srila Sachidananda Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who in this modern age, he reinitiated the flow of the Ganges-like river of bhakti, which had become practically invisible. Sri Manah-siksa, written by Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, the eternal associate of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It is a collection of 11 verses that offer spiritual instruction to the mind. These verses are an excerpt from the book known as Sri Stavavali. Have you ever heard of Sri Stavavali? There are many prayers, many songs written by Raghunath Das Goswami, and also books. So, and his commentaries as well. But they're all collected together in this one collection book, which is known as Sri Stavavali, which is a compilation of all of the author's prayers and his deep spiritual yearnings. In a very concise manner, Sri Das Goswami has surcharged these 11 verses of Manah-siksa with the essence of the teachings of Sri Gaur Sundar. Who is what? Now he tells. Who is Gaur Sundar? He is the prema-intoxicated embodiment of the combined forms of Shri Radha Krishna, as well as those of his intimate associate, Sri Sarup Damodar, and the Acharya of the profound science of devotional mellows, Sri Rupa Goswami. So in the Gaudiya devotional literatures, such as Sri Brihad Bhagavatamritam, who wrote Brihad Bhagavatamritam? Sanatan Goswami. Did our Gurudev give us that book? Yes, he did. Have you read it? No. Yes?
Yes.
The whole book. In which language? In Hindi. You wrote it. Huh?
English Bhasha.
English Bhasha, English language. You read that. How many volumes?
Just one volume I purchased. It was 500 rupees.
Okay. But that means you didn't read the whole Brihad Bhagavatamrita, because the whole Brihad Bhagavatamrita is 3 volumes. But there's a very good translation by our godbrother Gopi Paranadana Prabhu, and it was produced many years before in ISKCON, I think under maybe BBT or some other, but that's very well done.
But Vishnudev Maharaj mentioned there.
Yeah, Vishnudev Maharaj did what? He what?
Mentioned there.
Yes, of course he mentions it, because he's using that. He's using that version in order to translate. Understand? He's translating that version. He's translating into English language from the Hindi. But it's already translated from Bengali and Sanskrit into the English version, this other version. So I have that in my room. I don't have all 3 because I could only get my hands on 2 of them. But it's very, very nice, very well done. But it's not full of the extra insight and these moods that come from our Gurudev. So I heard that Manjari is still wants to finish that 3rd volume and redo the 1st volume as well. Let's see if that happens or not. So in the Gaudiya devotional literatures, such as Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrita, Sri Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Who is the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu by? Who wrote Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu? You know? Who wrote Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu? Rupa Goswami. And also the 6 Sandarbhas. Yes? And Sri Chaitanya Charitamritam. So, in these Gaudiya devotional literatures, devotion has been classified in 3 divisions. Devotion means what? Means bhakti. Right? Devotion means bhakti. So in these great devotional literatures of our acharyas, devotion has been classified in 3 divisions. What are those 3 divisions? Sadhana bhakti, bhav bhakti, and prem bhakti. Now there's a very interesting thing that Gurudev is about to say. He says that sadhana bhakti, devotion in the practicing stage, it is also further divided into two stages. Vaidhi, that means devotion based on scriptural injunction, Vaidhi, and Raganuga, spontaneous devotion. Bhav Bhakti, that arises from Vaidhi sadhana bhakti. Listen carefully. Bhav Bhakti, that arises from Vaidhi sadhana bhakti, and the Prem Bhakti that arises from Bhav Bhakti of that nature. Even the Bhav Bhakti and the Prem Bhakti, they're predominated by what? Aishwarya Gyan. Aishwarya Gyan. What does Aishwarya Gyan mean? Means knowledge of the Lord's opulence and His majesty. So he tells that the Prem, which comes from the Bhav, which comes from Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, that is called Aishwarya. So then he says, but the Bhav that is originating from Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti and the Prem that is originating from that standard of Bhav, it is predominated by Madhurya, by sweetness, Madhurya. And it does not have the slightest trace of Aishwarya, even a trace. Now, only by love. Now we should understand, where can you go if you are a practitioner of one of these two? Where does that lead you to? So he says, only by love, only by prem that is predominated by such sweetness, which is devoid of any scent of formality or reverence, only by that can one obtain the loving service of the lotus feet of the eternally youthful divine couple, Brajendra Nandan, Shri Krishna, and Vrishabhanu Nandini, Srimati Radhika. Only by that prem. Not by the prem that arises from Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti and then has the predominance of the mood of Aishwarya Gyan. No. You cannot obtain the loving service of the lotus feet of the eternally youthful divine couple Brajendra Nandan, Shri Krishna, Vrishabhanu Nandini, Srimati Radhika. No. Love that is predominated by awe and veneration, it causes one to attain where? Vaikuntha. Now I'm going to ask you this question, all of you. Pay attention. Love that is predominated by awe and veneration. Do you know what that means? It means like you're completely overwhelmed by the greatness, by the supreme majesty, the opulence of the Supreme Lord. So if you have love, you have a type of love or prem that is predominated by that mood of awe and reverence, veneration, what does it cause you to attain? Vaikuntha. Can you go to Goloka with that mood? No. You can only attain Vaikuntha with that mood. So therefore, there is a very subtle yet significant difference between the quality of bhav and prem arising from Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti and Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti. Is that clear? There's a lot of devotees who don't know this. There's a lot of devotees who don't know this, despite the fact that in the books of the Acharya, of the institution that they belong to, he has stated this numerous times, but yet they don't know this. One time, I'm not going to say names and I'm not going to try to point out any in particular devotee, But our Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, we were with him in Mathura, in the Sri Keshavji Gaudiya Math in 1994. And there was a lot of different incidences that took place at that time. Then a couple of very, very senior devotees from this institution came to see Srila Narayan Maharaj. They knew him and he knew them. A couple, one or two of them, they came to see him. And I remember that after they visited with him and then they left, and then he came out and he sat outside of his room on a chair and we all sat in front of him. And he says, you know, even after so many years, these leaders of this institution, they don't actually know who is our ultimate Ishtadeva. They're confused. Neither do they actually know the process by which that highest Ishtadeva of all of our Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas can be attained. They don't know. So what Gurudev just told is this very important subject of being able to decipher these two different types of faith, Shraddha, and these different types of practices that come from Shastra, Avadaranamayi Shraddha. That means that it is depending on the rules and regulations given in the Shastra. Your practice is dependent upon that. And the other type, Rag Marg or Raganuga, spontaneous devotion, which has a different type of faith, a different type of Shraddha. And that Shraddha is predominated by Madhurya, sweetness. So you understand the difference of these two? So in trying to approach Sri Sri Radha Krishna, who are the worshipable deities of all the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, the actual mood that has to be developed to attain service and shelter at their lotus feet, it cannot be from Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. It cannot. Because then it will be predominated by awe and reverence. And it will lead to Vaikuntha. It cannot lead to Goloka Vrindavan. So, this point is being made very clearly by our Gurudev. So, this fundamental difference is the distinctive trait of the line of thought of the Sri Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas, as it is expressed in this statement from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela, chapter 3, verses 15, 16, and 17. So here, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is explaining the difference between the moods of prema and love that is not weakened by knowledge of his greatness, reverence. Krishna himself is telling here in these verses, and Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is writing these verses. So he says in these three verses, Sakala Jagate More Kore Vidhi Bhakti. Vidhi Bhakti, that means rules and regulations. Vidhi Bhakti Vrajabhav Paite Nahi Shakti. That means, he's saying that Sakala Jagate, everywhere in the whole world, people are worshipping me according to what? Vidhi Bhakti. According to rules and regulations. Vidhi Bhakti Vrajabhav Paite Nahi Shakti. This means that through that Vidhi Bhakti, according to the scriptural injunctions, by following those regulative principles, one cannot attain the loving sentiments Of who? My exalted devotees in Braj. He says, Vidhi Bhakti Vraj Bhav Paite Nahi Shakti. It does not have the power to attain that. Then he says, Aishwarya Gyanete Sab Jagat Mishrita. So Mishrita means to be mixed. So Krishna is pointing out that the whole world, Sab Jagat, their devotion to me is mixed with knowledge of my opulence. He says that the entire world worships me in a mood of awe and veneration. That means that they're very much aware of my supreme majesty, that I'm the supreme absolute truth, right? But then he says, Aishwarya Shitila Prem, Aishwarya Shitila Preme Nahi More Prita. Aishwarya Shitila Preme. That means that kind of love that is weakened. Weakened by what? Reverence, on reverence. It does not satisfy me. It does not give me pleasure, Krishna says. Aishwarya Shitila Preme Nahi More Prita. Now, how many religions are there all over the world? All over the world. How many religions? Dozens. Dozens of different religions. And the main ones that seem to very much like to fight with each other nowadays is the Abrahamic religions. There are 3 of them. It's called Jewish religion, Christianity, and what? Muslim. All 3 of them, they are mainly guided by seeing God as the supreme creator and the Lord that we have to be afraid of even, because He's so powerful. And that we have to obey Him. So there's some fear is there, awe and reverence. Everybody knows, especially in India, that the Muslims, they continually declare Allahu Akbar, which means what? What? Great. God is great. Allahu Akbar. Akbar. So I'm declaring, you are great, you are great, you are great. That's their meditation. So can they ever attain loving service to the Supreme Lord in His very beautiful, spiritual, transcendental form with His Brijvasis in Goloka Vrindavan? Never. They don't even know anything, even the first tiny little details of what God looks like. Is that true what I just said? That they don't know at all what God even looks like? Huh? Is that true?
The picture is not allowed.
Huh?
Not allowed the picture on the Muslim.
Yeah. But in Christianity, they have allowed, and they've had great artists. What's his name? Leonardo da Vinci, right? Yeah. And he attempted to paint a picture of God in Rome on the inside of this dome of the Sistine Chapel. And how did he paint God? Pretty strong though, muscular, but old, gray hair, gray beard, and he's stretching out his finger. And then the man who he just created he's touching his finger, and he gave life to Adam. That's showing there. But how do they know? Did it describe this anywhere in their Bible? That God has long gray hair and a long gray beard? No, it doesn't say that anywhere in the Bible. It doesn't say that in the Jewish Torah. It doesn't say that in the Muslim Quran. There's no description of the form of God. Now, how do I know that? Because 9 years, from the age of 5 until I was 14, I attended a Christian school in which 2 hours each day we sang Christian songs and we read the Bible. Each year we read the whole Bible, Old Testament, New Testament. We had to memorize different verses. We had to memorize the Lutheran Catechism written by Martin Luther, and so forth. So I went through the training of 9 years from my early childhood until my teen years. And not one single time was there ever any description of the form of God. So everybody just has to imagine. And that's what they do. They imagine. Yeah. So Jewish, they have no idea at all. The Muslims have no idea at all. But yet, they are very, very critical, especially Muslims. They're very critical of the Hindu civilization, which stems from the Vedic knowledge, the Vedic scriptures. And the Vedic civilization clearly explains that, first of all, the Supreme Absolute Truth, He is not formless. He has a form. He has a form. Huh?
Transcendental forms.
Yes. But form. Then you have to understand what is the nature of that form. But in the Christian religion, they give you only a few, like 3 different statements about God. That God is omniscient. He knows everything. That God is omnipotent. He is all-powerful. And omnipotent means He's all-powerful. He can do anything. And God is omnipresent. Omnipresent. That He's present everywhere. But all 3 of these descriptions, although it is true, but it doesn't describe how it's true. It doesn't describe how it is true. So the entire Western civilization, which kind of stemmed originally from Christian, with the Roman Empire adopting Christianity and all of that, and then the other 2 Abrahamic religions that are just fighting with each other non-stop for hundreds and thousands of years, okay? None of them know God. They don't have the slightest idea of the Supreme Absolute Truth, from whom everything has come. What is His name? What is His form? Of course, they call Him Allah, but that's just an adjective. One who is great. You see? So, they like to criticize, and they still do to this very day, the Muslims against the Christians, or the Muslims against the Hindus. And they like to kill the Hindus. And they like to have big wars with the Hindus. This is over hundreds of years. And they slaughtered millions of Hindus. Millions of followers. Yes, and they're still doing it now. So, the point that I want to make is that they criticize those worshippers. They consider them to be heathens, the Hindus, because they worship multiple different forms. You see? Oh, they have all these forms and demigods and all of this. But they have no idea of any form. They simply criticize, but they don't understand that those forms that are worshipped, some of those forms are demigods, And some of those forms are the supreme absolute truth. But they don't have any transcendental and siddhanta, conclusive philosophical knowledge about those forms. They don't have at all. So in my case, I've often told that as soon as I came in contact with the Bhagavad Gita, and as soon as I came in contact with the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, with devotees who were early devotees of the Hare Krishna movement in America, and I began to chant the Hare Krishna mantra, even though I didn't know the meaning of the words. I didn't know what they were indicating at all. I just knew that it's a mantra, and these words are transcendental words. And then everything came from that. And when I found out what is given in the Vedic knowledge, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and the description of God, my heart just melted. I said, yes, that's God. That is God. You see. So, this is the most basic thing in Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy and in Vaishnavism in general, is to know that the Supreme Lord, He has His transcendental, eternal, spiritual body, His spiritual form, which is non-different than Himself. So that's all vast subject matter. But what is being told here, by quoting Chaitanya Charitamrita, is that Krishna is telling us, Aishwarya Shitila Preme Nahi Mori Prita. That prem, or love, that is weakened by Aishwarya, it cannot satisfy me. Then he says, Aishwarya Jnane Vidhi Bhajan Kariya. Aishwarya Jnane Vidhi Bhajana Kariya. Vaikuntake Jai Chaturvidha Mukti Paya. So this means that those who worship me according to scriptural injunctions, in a mood that is predominated by awe and veneration, they go to Vaikuntha. And they obtain the 4 kinds of liberation. What are those 4 kinds of liberation? Yes. Yes. Sharsti means the opulence, just like the Lord. And then Sarupya means the same forms, bodily features as the Lord. Then Sarupya, Sharsti, Sarupya, that's Sarupya. Then Samipya means to be situated very clear, very near to the Lord. Samipya. And then Salokya means to live on the same planet as the Lord. So here Krishna is saying that those who worship me according to the scriptural injunctions, they go to Vaikuntha, and there they attain these 4 types of liberation. So now, after quoting these verses, Srila Gurudev says that a deep attachment that is permeated by spontaneous and intense absorption in the object of one's affection, that deep attachment that is permeated by spontaneous and intense absorption in the object of one's affection, what is that attachment called? It is called rag. Rag. Now, devotion unto Sri Krishna that is saturated with this deep attachment, it is known as ragatmika bhakti. And the devotion that follows in the wake of ragatmika bhakti is called rag anuga bhakti. Now, the greed to obtain the mood of the Lord's ragatmika devotees, this is the sole qualification for rag anuga bhakti. What's the sole qualification? for Raga Nuga Bhakti? What type of greed? Greed for what? To attain, yes, to attain the moods that the Lord's eternal Ragatmika devotees possess. That is the greed to attain that. So practitioners of such Raganuga Bhakti, where should they live? Where should practitioners of such Raganuga Bhakti always reside? In Braja. They must always reside in Braja. And what must they do as they reside in Braja? They must internally contemplate both in the physical body and in the spiritual body, the internally contemplated spiritual body that is suitable to carry out the service to Sri Krishna, for which one anxiously aspires. They should always remember Sri Krishna and his beloved gopis of Vraja, and they should constantly serve Sri Sri Radha Krishna. So, why live in Braj and how to live in Braj? If you want to attain the mood of the eternal associates who live eternally in Braj, then you should also reside in Braj. And in the beginning stages of your Braj Vas, your residing in Braj, you have to perform with your physical body. You have to perform the different sadhanas, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Bandhanam, Pada Sevanam, and so forth. You must perform that with your physical body. But also, you should be qualified, and that's a much, much more advanced and higher stage than the beginning levels. You must be able to internally contemplate your spiritual body. What is the nature of that body, of that spiritual body? Oh, you can serve Krishna. That body is very suitable to carry out the service of Sri Krishna. And what are you aspiring for? You're aspiring for the service of Sri Krishna and also his beloved gopis of Braja. So, you should live in Braj and constantly serve Shri Shri Radha Krishna in this way. So, Gurudev says, while continuously residing in Braja, under the guidance of Rasik devotees, who are deeply immersed in the mood of Raj, then one should hear, chant, and remember the names, form, qualities, and pastimes of Sri Krishna. So this is the method of bhajan for devotees who are traversing the path of Raga Nuga Bhakti. So let's review what we just heard. Where should the devotee who has this greed to obtain the mood of the Lord's ragatmic devotees, where should that devotee, where should he practice his bhakti? Where should he stay? In Braj. In Braj. So that is called Rag Anuga. And while he's there in Braj, what should he do? What? I can't hear you at all. You have to talk louder. Huh? Well, here it is mentioned that there's two different bodies of the practitioner. What are they? The two different bodies. One is his body. Like we all have a body. We have a physical body. But what's the other body? Because Raganuga Bhakti requires that with both your physical body and your internal spiritual body, that you reside in Braj and you constantly carry out the service with both bodies. Now, do you know what is your internal spiritual body? That's my question. My question, do you know what is your spiritual body? Huh?
Not fully righted yet.
Do you know? Does anyone here know what is his spiritual body?
Mind fully not righted yet.
What?
Mind fully not righted yet, but I...
No, therefore you don't know.
But
The answer is yes or no. Do you know your spiritual body?
But I do feel that I have special connection with Lord Rama.
You just what?
I do have special connection with Lord Rama, but I still love other Krishna. But I feel that I did have special connection with Lord Rama.
So what?
Just like you don't know.
But that's not answering the question. Do you know your spiritual body? No, you don't. You don't. You don't. You don't. You don't. None of you know your spiritual body. That is a higher stage of progress in the pathway of Raga Nuga Bhakti. And that will take place after Nishta, Ruchi, and Asakti. When those three stages, which are very exalted stages, only then will your spiritual body begin to manifest internally. Do you understand what I just said? What did I just say?
After three stages, start from
Nishta, Ruchi, and Asakti. Now there are certain so-called gurus who like to advertise, come to me and I'll reveal to you your spiritual body. Come to me and you will realize your spiritual body. I will give you the specific details, the details of your spiritual body. What do you look like? What kind of dress are you wearing? Where do you live in Braj? All like this. What is your service to Radha and Krishna? And they say, okay, I'm going to tell you these 11 items, and then you should simply hear and chant and think about the pastimes of Krishna and live here in Braj or at Radhakunda or here or there. And then you will advance in Raganuga Bhakti and you will attain Bhav and all of these things will come. Huh? You have to speak louder because the fans are very loud. What?
after 1 month.
Yeah, they will tell you even in a very short time. This is bogus. Bogus. Because you are full of anarthas, materialistic desires, impressions, everything. And you're thinking that you're going to contemplate your spiritual form. What will be the result? The result will be that you'll become degraded. You'll actually become filled with lust, material lusty desires. And you'll commit many offenses and then you'll be gone from Braj. You'll not be there anymore. But there is a process, and that's what this Manah-siksa book is about. That's why Gurudev is telling here what is the difference between Raga Nuga Bhakti and between Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti and what a practitioner of Raganuga Bhakti will do. So now Gurudev is saying that by means of both the physical body and the internally contemplated spiritual body that is suitable to carry out the service to Sri Krishna, for which one anxiously aspires, then one should always remember Sri Krishna and his beloved gopis of Braj and constantly serve Sri Sri Radha Krishna. And while continuously residing in Braj, under the guidance of Rasik devotees, under the guidance of who? What kind of devotees will you be under the guidance of? Rasika. Rasika Vaishnavas. While continuously residing in Braj, under the guidance of Rasik devotees who are themselves deeply immersed in the mood of Braja, then one should hear, chant, and remember the names, form, qualities, and pastimes of Sri Krishna. This is the method of bhajan for devotees who are traversing the path of Raganuga Bhakti. And out of all the limbs of devotion, such as hearing and chanting, that have been described in relation to Vaidhi Bhakti, those which are favorable to the development of one's particular disposition, it may also be accepted on the path of Raganuga Sadhana. So Gurudev tells here, it is essential to know, that by following the instructions that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave to the jivas of this world, then a strong yearning to pursue the path of Raganuga will suddenly awaken in the sadhak's heart. That has to be repeated again. Gurudev is telling that it is very essential to know that if one follows the instructions of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that he gave while he was in this world, Mahaprabhu's instructions to the jivas of this world, it is essential to know that if you follow those instructions, then what will take place for you? A very strong yearning. Yearning means a very deep desire to pursue the path of Raganuga. It will suddenly awaken in the sadhak's heart. What did Gurudev just say? Deep Narayan. You're not listening as I'm reading. You're playing around on your phone. Huh? Okay. You were looking that up. Is that what you were doing on your phone? You were trying to locate that shloka?
Yes.
Okay, I forgive you. Otherwise I would go on your head. Okay. So try to hear what Gurudev is telling. Because if you hear it, but it just goes in one ear, and then it moves around, and then it comes out the other ear, then you haven't listened. You have not listened. Why am I here reading this to you, all of you who are sitting here? Am I doing this just to pass my time? No. I want persons who are very eager to hear this, to understand it, very eager to understand it, because everything that you need to know, it is all being given here in this book. And if you carefully listen and then you go and on your own, you again read that, and you do that more than once, you will have a very sublime experience. because you'll be able to understand what is the authority and what is the authority telling. So Gurudev just told us that all the devotees, they should know that if they follow the instructions that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave to the jivas when he was here in this world, what will happen to you if you follow those instructions? You will develop a strong desire, a yearning to do what? To pursue, to go on this pathway of Raga Nuga. That yearning will awaken suddenly in the sadhak's heart. That will happen. This desire to follow this path of Raga Nuga will suddenly awaken in the sadhak's heart. And Sri Chaitanya Dev, personally, he practiced also. Did Mahaprabhu also practice this in his life? Yes, he practiced, and then he preached it, he propagated, and he tasted what? Only that bhajan. No other type of bhajan. Only that bhajan which is undertaken through the path of ragmarg, spontaneous devotion. That's all that Mahaprabhu propagated, practiced, and tasted. So now, if by great fortune, if by very great good fortune, the jivas obtain the association of the beloved associates of Sri Gauranga Dev, then they will certainly develop greed for the mood of the eternal residents of Braj. Until one receives such association, most sadhaks, they adopt the process of Vaidhi Bhakti, which certainly must be done. And by taking shelter of the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Dev, then one will inevitably enter into Ragmarg. Is it inevitable? If someone takes shelter of the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Dev, inevitably you will enter into Ragmarg. So the sadhaks who are eagerly desirous of entering Ragmarg, they must first practice the sadhana of Raganuga Bhakti. What must they do? If you are eagerly desirous of entering Ragmarg, then what must you first practice? The sadhana of Raganuga Bhakti. That other institution never tells you this. The qualification that is required for Raganuga Bhakti, what's the qualification? For Raganuga Bhakti. Oh, Gurudev is saying that actually that qualification is extremely high. It's extremely high. And when greed actually develops toward the mood of the eternal residents of Braja, then one loses his taste for the things of this world. And he obtains release from pious and sinful activities. He attains release from fruitive action, karma, inaction, akarma, vikarma, prohibitive action, vairagya, non-devotional renunciation, the cultivation of knowledge aimed at impersonal liberation, gyan, and also the attraction for the practice of mystic yoga. The attraction for the practice of mystic yoga. What is that? That is a material desire. That is a material desire. So here, when real greed actually develops toward the mood of the eternal residents of Braja, then one loses his taste for the things of this world. And he obtains release from pious and sinful activities, from karma, akarma, vikarma, all of these, and even mystic yoga. He becomes released from these. So now, in Vaidhi Marg, one first develops faith, Shraddha. And then one acquires the association of devotees, Sadhu Sangha. And thereafter, by practice of bhajan, then one is released from the impediments to spiritual advancement, which are called anarthas. Then gradually one develops resolute steadiness, nishtha, strong taste, ruchi, firm attachment, asakti, and ecstatic emotion, bhav. So by this system, bhav is obtained after a very long time. Did you hear that? By following this system. Which system? Vaidhi Marg. So bhav is attained after a very long time. But when greed develops, all anarthas are very easily destroyed because of the absence of hankering for material sense enjoyment. Bhav also arises concomitantly with this greed. So in Rag Marg, however, it is essential to cast off all falsity. This has to be fixed once and for all. Not now. Once and for all. Fix it so it doesn't become loose. In Rag Marg, however, it is essential to cast off, to throw it away. What? What must you cast off? All falsity, all deceitfulness, all desire for prestige. If one does not do so, anarthas will increase and one will be dangerously deviated. Have we seen that? Hell yeah. We certainly have. So in this event, debased attachment, that is the rag of the material world, it will be mistaken for Vishuddha rag, for pure attachment. In this event. What event? If the anarthas increase and then one is deviated. So what happens is that very debased attachment, rag, it will be mistaken for real rag, Vishuddha, pure attachment. Then gradually the sadhak's material association, it will increase and he will fall down. So here the meaning of Raganuga Bhakti, the real meaning of this Raganuga Bhakti is actually Rupanuga Bhakti. It is Rupanuga Bhakti. Without becoming a Rupanuga, a follower of Sri Rupa Goswami, it is impossible to enter the path of Ragatmika Bhakti. If by some great fortune a person develops an intense desire to enter the path of Raganuga Bhakti, then one should certainly study and should follow this Manah-siksa of Sri Das Goswami, who is the principal follower of Sri Rupa Goswami. So that means someone is very fortunate. If this fortune dawns in their life, then that person can develop an intense desire to enter the path of Raganuga Bhakti. And then one should certainly study at that time and follow the Manah-siksa of Sri Das Goswami, who is the principal follower of Srila Rupa Goswami. Gaur Premanande.
One question, Maharaj.
Wait. So, the next section, the next two sections of this preface We'll not read today. We'll read it in our next class. But Gurudev is giving a brief history of the life of Sri Raghunath Das Goswami. And then after that, he gives a brief history of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who is the author of the commentary of this Manah-siksa, Bhajan Darpan. And then at the end of that very brief biography, then Srila Gurudev, he ends his preface and he says that and this is on the 13th of July, 1984. 13th of July, 1984, in Mathura, Uttar Pradesh, India. Sri Dandi Bhikshu, Sri Bhaktivedanta Narayan, an aspirant for a particle of mercy of Sri Hari, Guru and Vaishnavas, humble and insignificant Sri Dandi Bhikshu, Sri Bhaktivedanta Narayan. So, now we have begun our study of this book. And we should try to understand. I can tell you frankly that if you only attend this class, but you don't yourself also try to read what we just studied today, and look at the shlokas as we go through the whole book, it will not stick with you. But if you yourself make the effort to carefully review and understand, then you'll gain so much from this study. I'm telling you that. But if you don't, you will not gain so much. You'll gain something. You gain something, of course you will. But we have to make a concerted effort from our own side. It's just like if you go to a university, right? You go to a university, then all the students in the university, they are regularly attending the class or the lecture that is given by who? Huh? Professor. The university professor who is PhD. He is fully learned in that subject matter. And in order to learn that subject matter, the students in the university are required. They can't just take the books and read them on their own. No. They have to attend the vocal presentation by the learned professor. And then what do they have to do? Then they have to go home and study the books that are given for, it's called the syllabus that is given, what the different books you have to read. So, a lot of devotees, they have a very lackadaisical attitude toward doing this as part of their sadhan bhajan. Regularly reading, regularly studying, and not just reading, studying. Trying to take it deep within the heart. So, if a student does not, in the university, if they don't study their books, they will not be able to pass their exam. Understand? And they'll not be able to. Even if they attend all the lectures, but they don't study the books, then they will not be able to pass their exam, and they'll remain in the same place. They cannot go to the next level unless they pass their exam. So we should not think that this is not required of us. No, we must, but we should do some systematic, and that's why I'm giving these classes. Otherwise, why? Why should I? Why should I take all of my energy, my time, my heart, my soul, everything, and share? Because I have studied this topic. I have studied this subject matter, and now for my own benefit, I again want to study it very minutely and also to speak it. Because when you speak it, you cannot speak it unless you understand it, what you just read. So if you listen very carefully, you will get what Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Maharaj is trying to give in his preface, in his introduction, in the whole book, in his purports and so forth. And this will benefit you greatly because you'll be in a special category of devotees. Not many devotees have memorized the Manah-siksa. Very few. Very few devotees have memorized and can explain the translation of the verses. Not just blah, 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 blah. No. They've memorized it. But they can also explain it. So this will be a very great asset for you. You know asset? That means a very great gain for your spiritual life. So you should think that you are students and you should come on time. Because if you don't, I'm going to become very upset. I'm going to become upset. Because I'm taking my time to come here to give this class, but then you stroll in a half an hour later, then that doesn't encourage me. That you're not serious. Because I'm giving this class in the hope that all of you will be able to enter into this subject matter. But if you don't attend it with a serious mood, then that's discouraging to me. Understand what I'm telling? You understand? Yes. So this is the summer season. It's very hot right now in this part of India and other parts of India. And we have a cool place underneath the fans to 3 times a week come here and sit here and study these books. It will take some weeks to go through these books. First the Manah-siksa, and then after that, Bhajan Rahasya. That will take a few months, not just weeks. It will take a few months. Maybe even all the way until Kartik. It can take that long to properly study the Bhajan Rahasya. Why? Because there's hundreds of shlokas that should be not just memorized, but they should be assimilated in our heart and in our intelligence. And we will gain so much from that. So please, everybody come. I have advertised a time which is earlier than we were doing before because it's hot. And the people that have to come here from Mayapur or elsewhere, it will be less hot if they come at that time. So I have told in the letter that I wrote to advertise that we're starting at 11. So you should try to be here at 11. We'll do kirtan, and we will do the Mangala Charana, and then we'll begin reading. We'll try to do that by 11:30, you know. And then we have 2 hours, 12:30, 1:30. 2 hours we have to go through the book. Any questions or comments? And also, if you do the reading on your own, then this will be very interesting for you. If you read ahead, and then when you come to the class, we're reading that and reviewing it again. This will be very, very interesting to you, and you'll become very eager, because you'll see what kind of result is coming. So try to do that. Gaur Premanande. Oh. And another thing I want you to learn is how to play kartals. Do you know how to play kartals? Do you know how? Do you know how to play kartals? No, I saw the other day. You don't know how to play kartals. This is one of the biggest problems I had traveling in Russia, all around Russia. None of the devotees knew how to play mridanga or kartals. There was very few. Some of them knew how to play. But you have no excuse because you're living in Bengal. And this is so simple thing to play kartals. It's very simple. Srila Prabhupada taught by his own example how to hold the kartal, how to put it on your fingers, how to play it. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then there's also other sounds that you can get from the kartals, like this. But you should learn. Because otherwise, how can you do Gaur Kirtan if you don't play the instruments of Gaur Kirtan? Now, I'm not expecting everybody to learn Mridanga. That I'm not doing. Because Mridanga takes a lot more effort. But this doesn't take much effort. So I'm telling you that you should get a pair of kartals. You're living in the place where they're produced. There are not millions. There are many, many shops that sell kartals here. Buy your own pair of kartals and practice playing the kartals, this simple beat, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Actually, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. In musical notation, it's that, like that. So try to do that, because I become more enlivened when devotees are also playing the instruments during the kirtan. When I see that you're making an effort to play the instruments. Do you know how to play kartals?
Right.
What?
Not fully. Perfectly.
What do you mean? What does it mean? Fully or partly? Show me you're partly playing kartals. Here's a Damvasi, born and raised in Bengal and Navadvip. Your thumb is not moving. What you all need to do is you need to watch the video of Srila Prabhupada singing Jaya Radha Madhava, and you can see how he's playing the kartals. You have to, your thumb has to come off. That's okay. That's basic. Basic. Okay. All right.
Maharaj, I do have one question.
Huh?
I do have one question.
You want to question? You have one question. Okay.
So actually, in Appian Gospel, Prabhupada used to mention.
Actually, you have. I can't understand. You speak more slowly.
Swami Prabhupada used to mention.
Yes.
In Appian Gospel or Gospel, something like that.
He used to mention what?
Appian Gospel or Gospel. Book.
What book?
Appian Gospel.
Oh, Aquarian Gospel. Yes. He didn't mention it, just like once he mentioned it.
Mentioned that Jesus Christ came to Vrindavan.
Yeah. No, he doesn't. He said that he came to India. He didn't say in that book that Jesus Christ came to Vrindavan. No. But he may have. We don't know.
But do Christians believe that?
No, most Christians don't know about it even. They don't know. Most Christians do not know that Jesus Christ, because in the Bible, when Jesus was around, 12 years old? 12 years old, until he was 28 years old, there's no mention there where he was, what he was doing. So, our Srila Prabhupada told, during that time he journeyed to India. Okay? And that's very believable, because in those days there were all kinds of trading and spice, trading and people going back and forth between the Middle East and India. So much was going on at that time. So no doubt about it that Jesus was in India. And there's a book, you can read the whole book if you like. It's a very interesting book, I read it. It's called Jesus Lived in India. It's very, very authoritative. And a lot of that book is written by a Russian person who came to India more than 100 years ago. And he did some research also. It's based upon that. But not only that. Anyway, it's a very, very well documented book. After I read that book, this was like at least 20 years ago I read that book. And I thought, oh, everyone should read this book. If you're a Christian, you should read this book.
The Christians were angry if you speak about Jesus was.
We don't care.
Yeah, extremely angry.
We don't care. We don't care. Whether they get angry. Some things what?
Jesus had said many things which generally the same like bhakti.
Yeah.
He did it very short and without explanation.
Yeah. No, Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj has very nicely analyzed. Even Bhakti Vinod Thakur has also analyzed the teachings of Christianity, how Jesus Christ taught, and gave some appreciation. They showed appreciation. Why? Because Jesus Christ was teaching that God is the Father, the supreme person who is male. He's male. God is the supreme person, and He has a spiritual form. So because of that, Christianity is called monotheism. That they believe there's one supreme God. And many people think that Hinduism is polytheism, that there's many, many gods. But actually, no. The real truth of the Vedic knowledge is that there's one absolute truth, one supreme God. Not 2, not 5 or 10, no. There's only one. And He expands Himself and He manifests Himself in innumerable forms. But they're all the same as Him. They're all one. All the incarnations of Bhagavan, all the 10 avatars, all of them are the same exact supreme absolute truth. There's only one. Huh? Yeah, that verse. Okay, so that was your question? Okay. Yeah, you should get that book. You can get it on Amazon. Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol Om Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavachai Namo Namah Vansha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namah.